Hi everyone, I am Pradnya Punekar and I welcome you all to Inspiring Dreamcatchers, a talk show from Katha Stories Unheard. We all know that life does not have a rule book, but what we have are inspiring people around us who, with their confidence, courage, grit, and resilience, have achieved the pinnacle of success. In this talk show, you will meet such inspiring people from around the world who will share their inspiring journey, thoughts, and ideas. And at the same time, we will talk about solutions to various problems and challenges and the future of our workplace and life at large. Enjoy the conversation. Health is wealth. I'm sure you all have heard of this age old saying which stands true even today. And the current COVID pandemic has made us realize that this age old saying is going to stand true for many more years and decades to come. Hi everyone, I am Pradnya Punekar and I welcome you all to Inspiring Dreamcatchers, a talk show from Katha Stories Unheard. In our today's episode, we bring to you heaps of health wisdom. Our guest today is a preventive cardiology specialist and a health coach, and she's going to be sharing tips, suggestions, advice, and talking to us about various dimensions of our health, right from cardiology to mental health issues, early symptoms of mental health, women's health, and how to probably stay at the optimum positive level of our health, how to have transformative health for a better health. So, yes, stay tuned until the end of the episode and wishing you all a very happy health.
In our today's episode, we have a health specialist who is going to talk about everything about health and also talk about her inspiring journey of how she has transitioned from a corporate job to her entrepreneurship journey. Everybody, please join me in welcoming Pranita Sadunke. Pranita Sadunke is a preventive cardiology specialist and she has worked as an occupational therapist for nearly 2 decades and has helped many individuals with various dimensions of health. She has currently started her own venture called Pranita Vitality, where she consults and advises people on lifestyle transformation to prevent diseases and take overall of their health. So, welcome, Pranita.
Thank you very much, Pragna, for the introduction. I'm
Thank you
excited
so
to share the talk with you.
Thank you so much for accepting our invite to be on our talk show today and share about everything about health, which has become so important in today's times. And of course, your inspiring journey, Pranita, which the way you have transitioned from a corporate job to entrepreneurship journey. But yes, to begin with, I think because your specialization has been in the preventive cardiology space, right? I think I was thinking because you have worked in that space for such a long time and helped so many individuals, especially to keep a happy and a healthy heart. I was thinking, let's begin off with talking a little bit about what it takes to keep our heart healthy and how can we keep our heart healthy and how can we prevent cardiology problems and issues, because as the world is evolving we see that the percentage of cardiology problems are also increasing and at a very young age as well for a lot of people, right? So what can individuals do to prevent cardiology problems, and how can we keep our heart healthy?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you're so right with the recent changes happening. The health has become utmost important for many of us, and people have lost life with the COVID complications. Uh, it's not only affected the loss of human being, but it has also implication on mental health. It has also implication on the financial well-being of the nation, financial well-being of international businesses, and ultimately health and well-being as well as financial situation as a globe. And it also has impacted relationships because staying the complications of COVID as well as complications of ill health in general affects relationship at a deeper level. You may experience like if person is staying home, one partner is staying home all the time, not taking the responsibility of finances, of family life, have that impact with another partner. So it has optimum health, and not having that, it has impact on both health, quality, quantity of life, your finances, as well as your relationship strength and quantity and quality. So it's really important for us as a human being to have that shift in mindset that my health is my body is the vehicle rather than uh, rather than infusing it with bad food, smoking, drinking, excessive negative thought. Shift in mindset that my body is a soul for me to reside in. And when you shift this psychology, then everything you consume becomes a conscious thought. You can say to yourself, is it going to harm me or is it going to nourish me? Both thoughts, lifestyle, everything. So, number one, mindset shift is the key. Number two is awareness. I believe in my practice, in my own life, the transformation only happens when you become aware. Awareness is the key to transformation. So, what I mean by that, like become aware of your lifestyle, your eating, sleeping, activity. You may forget, what you consumed 2 days back. So becoming aware of those each and every food you consume for limited period of time, weekend, weekdays, a month perhaps, that will give you the insight of the lifestyle you are currently leading. As well as go to your GP, and if you are have a health insurance, etc., and you do regular blood checks, find out your regular blood pressure level, triglyceride level, cholesterol level, all the biomarkers which are important indicator of how healthy your system is, your body is. And the point I wanted to mention is the heart is not in isolation. Cardiac problem is not in isolation. It's a cardiovascular system. So it affects everything. If unhealthy lifestyle, emotions affects your brain health, your heart health, your liver, kidney, your musculoskeletal system, because the if ineffective vascular supply to those organs. So we don't just think to avoid heart attack. We think about my brain health. I want to have sharp memory. I don't want to have stroke, etc., which is affected diabetes. So find out, think you as a whole person, and all organs do affected with the unhealthy lifestyle, unhealthy thought patterns, emotional distress. In fact, many studies have shown that emotional distress, stress of any kind, triggers heart attack. So emotional health is also important. So yeah, becoming aware of that, seeking help, and then making a strong mindset that you'll make change, you'll make transformation happen for you, for your next generation, and for a whole planet. Because I believe that every human being has some kind of value, purpose in their life, and that's what I talk about in my book, in my social media videos. That shifting from belief, again, it's all about the mindset work. Shifting from belief that you you're not valuable is the beginning of taking unhealthy or adopting unhealthy lifestyle. So if you believe that you are valuable, each and every person you meet has can benefit from you, that makes you feel more motivated, either your children or other people, in your life, in your expanded in your community. So yeah, mindset shift as well as taking practical steps.
Awesome, wonderful explanation, Pranita. I really like the steps in this order that you mentioned. That first is the mindset. Everything that everything about that happens in the health begins with the mindset. And second, I really like practical approach that you shared about doing regular checks, visiting the hospitals. Although we as individuals and humans, we are quite scared to do the tests, isn't it? But I think. It is about time that we take conscious efforts and positively proactively do those tests which will probably guide us towards a better health. And I one point which I really loved what you said is that uh, we should think that from us every individual should be benefited because we do have a great value.
Yeah.
That I really love that point because I think that kind of makes us as well inspired to do more, to give more, isn't it?
Well,
Wonderful.
that's my value. That's my value for my service, my social media. It's inspire, educate, and once you inspire, once you educate, empowerment happens, and the transformation is the byproduct.
Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And also, so now coming to the most important aspect, Pranita, right? Which is one of the key aspects as well, which we wanted to bring forward through this episode is the mental health. So, again, like you rightly said, and you began probably addressing the question that I asked you with a very important point, which you made is that the pandemic has not only affected just our physical health or the physical bodies, it has had a deeper impact on our mental health and how that has affected the various dimensions of our life, including, our work and the relationships. So, to bring forward this very important key aspect of the current world scenario that we are into, what do you think are the early symptoms of mental health issues or illness? How can one take care of their mental health? That is one part of the question. And second, because we are in UK, what are the various supports which are available, especially related to mental health?
Yeah, like thank you for the question. Um, I strongly believe from my personal experiences as well as seeing a lot of people as well as clients who do come to me for prevention of heart conditions, prevention and control of type 2 diabetes. What I discovered, and again from my personal experience, that once we don't take care of our emotional health, it leads to various complications such as fatigue and lack of energy, and isolating yourself from other people, environment, and not taking interest in your life, in your work, in your responsibilities, like I mentioned about the parental responsibility, social responsibility, family responsibility. So it affects everything, and those are the early signs, because you're not taking, perhaps not taking shower, not interested in self care, not interested in grooming, looking, trying to look after yourself well, let alone look after those who depends on you. And I have been there. um, so these are some of the early signs. And what other signs are is like you're not, because you have lack of energy, lethargy, fatigue, you're not cooking well, you're perhaps drinking excessively, thinking to distract yourself, maybe distract yourself with the social media. You have limited time, limited energy to be proactive in positive lifestyle. to be proactive in positive thinking. So, really identify those skills. The way to identify is, and this is on the personal level. So, sometimes you have to go, you have to seek support outside your outside yourself. Yeah, but once you start seeing this early sign, what I would suggest is awareness is the key. So every day at the beginning of the day, at the night, just think about the what kind of emotions you are experiencing. So as a parent, I'm sure you are aware because you have kids as well. We teach them about how to identify emotions and then express them. So we have to, when there is a stress, when there is a anxiety, when there is a panic, all sort of sadness, all sort of negative emotions on consistent basis. I mean, we all experience this negative emotions day in day out, but when it becomes consistently, it affects all the dimensions of our life. We need to start journaling, start identify your emotions. Okay, and then the way to self care is again nutrition, healthy eating, having, because healthy eating is directly linked with our brain health. Food rich in omega 3, food rich in multi variety of plant based diet affects our gut health positively. Gut brain axis is very much very well researched now, and healthy gut is your healthy brain, because it's all linked to, then you can secrete the right hormone. Physical activity, going for fast aerobic exercises, walking, fast walking, joining gym, or if you don't feel that you want to be in social situation, just go on your own, go on the woods. And especially if those who are living in pandemic areas still, like those in India, I would encourage, it's important to, of course, respect the isolation rule, but then, you know, see where you can go early in the morning, go on the rooftop, take a fast burst of exercises, either push ups, aerobic jumping on the spot, anything that will create that aerobic atmosphere within your body, and that it is not only for good for your heart overall health, but of course it's helpful for your brain health and mental health. uh, Seek support. We become isolated when there is a uh, when there is a mental health issue, but really important to seek support. Change your environment from being dark to light, and see if you have the social support. If not, change your environment. So that's on the personal level. And if those, try these remedies, but if it doesn't work, I would encourage finding the therapist who are trained in therapies such as emotional freedom technique, um, cognitive behavioral therapy. Those are the things which I found myself helpful. And of course, like you mentioned, that um, UK, well, UK has a very interesting situation in the sense, like there are high number of cases with the seasonal affective disorder due to the weather. So it's, we are more vulnerable to get depression, seasonal affective disorder. It's like depression. And I've seen myself, like when I used to work in hospital, most of the cases admission increase in winter time. And of course the environment like snow etc has its implications, but the lack of sunshine, and like you may be aware that in the therapy, natural therapy has sun, shine as an important element. So please, please, please go out there, first thing in the morning towards the end, and just sunbathe. So all these element, and take the support, like mind organization has helpline, and I'm sure the GPs etc. can refer you to the talk therapy, CBT, etc.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pranita. That was really
One more, one
sure.
sorry, one more thing. The online community. If you don't have the community support, like for me, I traveled from India to UK and changed quite many places. So the community was an issue. But right now, I mean, if what I would have done differently was joining lots of Facebook groups,
Hmm.
but a good quality support group online
Hmm.
can direct us, can guide us. So that's the last one.
That's amazing. I think that's one of the key aspects which is becoming extremely helpful for all of us. The Facebook groups that you mentioned, right? And it is so easily available, freely available. You don't have to pay anything, any money for that. And like you rightly said, if it is a quality group, I have also experienced. In various things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, the Facebook groups are really helpful, and the kind of awareness that you have created in terms of mental health is really, really great, Pranita. Thank you so much. The points that you mentioned, the early signs is like isolating ourselves and not taking care of ourselves, or not being interested in a lot of basic responsibilities that we do, are the early signs of a mental health. And like you rightly mentioned, there are various supports which are available, right from the Facebook groups to the Mind organization to the GP and everything. Thank you so much, Pranita, for bring taking up this topic and putting a lot of light on it and awareness, much needed during these times.
Indeed, indeed.
So coming to yet another very important aspect of our society, I would say, is the women's health, right? We as women, we all know that we we have our hormones are very different, which behave and act very differently. And I mean, as just as a biologically, right? The entire woman's body and the woman's hormones are built very differently, right? So, what I wanted, because you have worked as an occupational therapist for more than 2 decades and worked in hospitals and various other places as well, and now you own your own company, which is a Pranita Vitality. So, I'm quite sure you must have come across many women with different kind of issues and problems. Now, how can we women take care or of overall health? I would say nothing specific, overall health. How can we take care of our overall health is first, especially of course that kind of covers our mental health. But what specifically what I wanted to bring out is the postpartum depression, right? Because it is a part of the mental health. And increasingly what I have also seen and experienced, being a part of the entire motherhood journey, a lot of my friends as well, communities that I'm a part of, is that increasingly the postpartum depression is becoming a bigger issue for a lot of women. So,
Yes.
how can women ensure that they do not get into postpartum depression, or what kind of um, things that they can take care of, or and what is the cure, if at all, for the postpartum depression?
Good question. As you rightly mentioned, it's not only about seeing other women, but also me going through various stages of my own life, and how those stages impacted health and wellness.
Pranita, I'm really sorry. I have to just give me 1 second. I have to put my laptop charger on charge. Just give me 1 second. Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry. Yes.
It's okay, no problem. So, like I was saying, it's not only other women which I've seen, friends, family, some of the clients. What I've seen is we from my personal experience as I moved at a lots of life changes, and how that impacted my own life. So how can women at various stages can take care of their health and wellness is the question you are asking. So what I feel like, let's look at the woman's journey. Yeah, women go through various stages of life: puberty, adolescence, marriage, kids, and we experience celebratory moments, we experiences highs, but we also experience lows, um, progressively at advanced age, menopause, etc. So that affects our hormones, that affects our health. And if from the beginning, the all the elements which we discussed in the past with the emotional health as well as heart health, if our lifestyle, our thought patterns is not optimum, we are not prepared to overcome those challenges. So if you are leading very unhealthy lifestyle, inflammation that creates inflammation in your body, your hormonal health, your brain, your cardiovascular system, then that has a knock-on effect of on your wellness, on your health, on your ability to deal with these life challenges: puberty, adolescence, postpartum period, menopause, because your body is already in inflamed condition.
Hmm.
But if you're leading a positive lifestyle throughout your life, throughout your pregnancy, taking right supplement, folic acid, taking for your brain health, making sure that yeah, rainbow color diet, the same apply, and additional nourishment needs, not necessarily eating for two people, but effectively more than quantity, quality of
Hmm.
the food you consume. And another social dynamic which was changed, as you mentioned, there are lots of postpartum cases. Social dynamic is, imagine, especially in India, yeah, we after the period of pregnancy, we are surrounded by our moms, aunties, friends who care for us. But like now in today's society, even in it, and that applies to many culture, Mediterranean culture, um, uh, uh, Latin American. So this was the case, but due to westernization of our society, and that is impacting not only women, that is impacting men and women, heart health, that's impacting mental health. So this is very important point, that we are human beings. We need another people. And because of westernization, isolation, and nuclear families are emerging, people are traveling. So it's really important to seek that community support, ask for help, ask, yeah, ask for support. This is, we are not meant to live life in isolation. That is the big thing. Yes, that is the big thing, because
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
I really love the last point that you made, Pranita. It's like we as humans, we need another people. We seek for community. We seek for that that human touch which you spoke of, right? Human empathy, human love. We are
yeah,
really probably we thrive on that.
yeah,
So, and that is that nuclear family aspect which you mentioned, which the westernization aspect which you mentioned, because of which there are a lot of problems which are creeping up, and postpartum is one of postpartum depression. That entire aspect causes a lot of issues. That's really amazing. Pranita, that kind of brings me just to this one very important point, which you have been talking throughout through various dimensions of how we are talking of overall health, the mental health, the women's health. There is one consistent point which you have made, which I have really extremely found it very useful and loved, is that keeping your thoughts at the optimum and positive thoughts is one of the very important, amazing aspect which you have brought forward. And on that note, I just wanted to try and understand your point of view and your perspectives as to how can an individual, right? I mean, we all know that we live in a society which has so much of stress and anxiety around for a lot of reasons. It could be related to work, it could be related to, personal environment, and like you said, nuclear families, people are traveling around the world, right? A lot of aspects are there in that. So what, according to you, an individual can do to maintain a optimum positive thoughts uh, throughout their life, throughout the phases of life?
Yeah. So that's a good question, and I think that's a quest for many people, including me, which is not always filled, because otherwise we will be like a guru, right? Sadhu,
Exactly.
to achieve that equanimity. So the thoughts are going to be still there, negative
Hmm.
thoughts,
Hmm.
negative feelings. It's our how we manage those feelings on
Right.
day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
And I'm, to be honest, I'm not expert, especially when you have gone through various traumas, various um, experiences, negative experiences in your life. You become more susceptible, more vulnerable
Hmm.
those traumas, and it's a constant work on yourself.
Hmm.
But it's really important, like we have been discussing, how it impacts all dimensions of our life, finances, because people are more attracted to the financial well-being than looking after their health and relationship. So um, it's important to realize that our thoughts and emotions are interlinked. If you are at a negative state of emotions, feeling, then, for example, if you are continuously thinking about the uh, sadness or pain you have in your life, then what thoughts it will create? Hopelessness, doom. I'm doomed for it. I am stress in your system, anxiety. So that cripples you from taking action. So that leads to uh, behavior which are like, just sitting on sofa, watching TV, etc., not taking care of yourself and others. But thinking from going from that aim, and that has negative results. So if you want to change the result, if you want to be in a healthy and happy environment of your body, and rather than, first of all, change the perception that I will be happy at all the time. We are human being, we won't be able to be happy unless we are at a different stage in our spiritual journey. Accept Acceptance is the key. Accept that there will be different kinds of emotion. Second, become aware. Like I said, journal all these feelings, sadness, happiness, what I experienced in last 7 days. Then, if I want to make changes with those emotions, I need to do something different, right? If my actions are not creating those positive feelings, can I change my actions? If I'm in a different if I'm in a particular environment, that is a physical environment, the town you are living, city you are living, the place you are living is creating, so what is the source of those emotions? Change that. So change environment. What kind of people I'm hanging with? So are the communication with them is affecting my self esteem, is creating pain? See if you can talk about it first. If not, limit the conversation with them. It's not about cutting a relationship, it's about protecting yourself. Because when you protect your mental health, you are able to build more positive relationships. And contribute, which is my entire philosophy is purpose. You have some value, and unless and until you take care of your soul, you won't be able to give the value. Um, so, accepting that there will be negative emotion, challenging the result, challenging the action steps that are creating those emotions, and then seeking help, either as a friend, either to the friend, uh, or professional help.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pranita, for really picking up that a very important aspect of positivity, right? And like you rightly said, there will acceptance is the key to the first thing towards probably improving certain things. There will never be a time where we say, "Oh, right, we are all happy all the time." There won't be a time that way. So accepting
More
that.
than happiness, sometimes contentment. I'm
Hmm.
content,
Hmm.
negative or positive.
Correct.
I'm content, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
I think reflection, like you rightly mentioned, right? Doing that reflection in terms of how I'm feeling and what am I feeling good or bad about it, and if I'm not at that optimum level, what can I do? Whether I should change my environment or look at things differently, and that's then taking actions. Amazing. Thank you so much, Pranita. Coming to our last question, and then we might have some quick rapid fire, just as a little surprise for you. Coming to the last question, and a very important question, of course, right? Your journey has been extremely inspiring in terms of how you started off, and you are working with the corporates and the hospitals as an occupational therapist, and today you have your own lifestyle transformation consultancy and company, which is a Pranita Vitality, right? So tell us about how what inspired you to start your own venture first, and basically how did you do the transition? Because for a lot of people, I have also worked in a corporate organization for many years, and I do know that it is quite difficult in terms of making a transition from a corporate job to an entrepreneurship journey. Right? There are so many different dimensions which are involved in that, and it takes a lot of courage and a lot of grit to be able to do that. So first of all, congratulations for to you for starting off your own venture. So how did you do it? What inspired you to start your own business? Second, how did you do the transition from a corporate job to an entrepreneurship journey?
yeah, that's like you mentioned. It takes a lot of courage, grit, and it's not easy. So first of all, finding getting that concept, it's not easy, but it's doable. Is the mindset shift I've done in myself. Secondly, the reason I made a shift was twofold. One, in India, I'm Indian, so in India there are increasing numbers of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, all the chronic conditions. Even if we we come from background of Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, so we have ingrained knowledge. But why there is an increased number of these conditions? Like you have seen the COVID cases as well. Like there were so much complications in India. Um, is because we are adopting the thoughts and mindset as well as lifestyle of Western society. Easy fast food, isolation, nuclear families. How many people are forgetting spiritual path and just living a material life? All these elements have increases the chronic conditions in our society. And I saw in very early child, sorry, I saw as I came to the UK, loss of my mamaji, maternal uncle, and my first cousin with the diabetes complications. And I saw the non physiological reasons for it. which is the social reason, which is the psychological reason. And I was two, that was early stage, and 2011 12 I was OT in the occupational therapist in the hospital. But during that practice, I didn't do anything to prevent. I was just fixing the problem, helping people to just stay safe in the community, and then that's it. But what will happen afterward? So all our medical system is geared towards reactive medicine rather than proactive and preventive. Luckily, I was, but at that time, I couldn't do anything because, so I felt that I haven't done anything to prevent, um, support my own family member, and I was feeling a bit of sadness that I have not able to contribute. So the guilt was there. And at that time, I did my master's from Imperial College, London, in the same field, preventive cardiology. Learned a lot, uh, got really motivated, and also the whole experience of that education was really uplifting my self image, which was knocked down during my that period of time. But I felt like, I can do anything and everything. So that experience, as well as positive experience of my master's, praised by my peers as well as my professors, helped me to start something unique. And I started my service at that time. And by God's grace, with the lifestyle transformational services, I got the great results of helping people to lose up to 30 kilo
Wow.
uh, with the lifestyle transformation. No fast diet pills, type 2 diabetes reversal, stress management, all the risk factor basically, and which of cardiovascular diseases, lifestyle related cancers. So that's how, and it's a everyday learning for me to be an entrepreneur. I'm not there perfect yet. Um, yeah. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, amazing. Really, really very inspiring, Pranita. And it is like you're it's quite courageous to take the step. It's not easy, right? It's not easy to move from a corporate job to entrepreneurship journey and take up this step, but it is very inspiring. And also that the fact that preventive steps, what you are looking at, rather than just reactive of curing something once it is done, because the harm is already done and then you're looking at curing it. But the steps that you are taking is more of a preventive. How can you actually prevent is very inspiring. So wish you all the
Another,
best. And
thank you. Another thing helped me was to, write all this information which was on my head into my book, Vitality, a Healthy and Happy Heart.
right.
Free for, I'm sure you can show the image later on.
Yes.
Um, um, so that and people like Professor David Wood, who actually formed the Joint British Society preventive guidelines, has really read the book and really thought that it was really helpful. So as I'm like, that increased my self-esteem, and that increased my, um, and many such people that drive to continue to this journey. Well, thank you.
Yes, definitely. And that definitely is a great piece of work which you have done of also transforming your expertise, your experience into a book, and you have also successfully turned into author, Pranita. So congratulations to that as well, because like we say, right, books are books are a kind of legacy which we live to a lot many generations to come. So that's a great work you have done. And definitely I would also would wish want to read your book. And I would highly recommend everybody who's watching this, do go out and check out Pranita's book, which is called what's the name of the book, Pranita, you mentioned?
Vitality, a healthy and happy heart. I'll share and then the link with you later.
Perfect, perfect. That's great. So yes, thank you so much, Pranita, for all the awareness and the information and your experiences which you have shared with us in our episode today. It was absolutely wonderful and a great learning and awareness for all of us. And I'm sure all our viewers who are watching this have got heaps and bags of knowledge related to health, mental health, women's health, overall well-being. And we wish everybody a very happy and a healthy heart and a health throughout their lives. So, Pranita, just as we before we sign off, just a couple of quick rapid fire questions for you. Um, if you were to give one piece of advice to 20-year-old yourself, so when you were 20 years old, what would that advice be?
Find your find your tribe carefully. So find your friends, find the people, limit the negative influences in terms of people with you, and have a huge level of self-esteem. If you don't have, then try and build that, because if you have self-love, if you have self-esteem, then you'll be able to take care of yourself, and therefore you'll be able to take care of others, nurture others in your life. That's one.
Awesome. What is one of the possibly the craziest thing that you have done so far? Or maybe the courageous, the craziest, the wildest, whatever you want to call.
I've done many courageous things because that's my biggest value adventure.
Hmm.
I've done this skydiving, was the great experience,
Yeah,
and that the big yeah, that made me feel that I, at that point, invincible. But I think me as a human being, I need constant adrenaline rush. So I don't know uh, what will be the next.
awesome. Wishing you many more adventurous journeys, Pranita, and wishing you your entire entrepreneurship journey all the very best. Thank you so much once again
I have
for
one thing to say.
please.
If I have a lot of like the lot of things we talked about, awareness, food, lifestyle, mental health, uh, is I have a lot of resources on my website, which is
Mhm.
free to download, and I constantly talk about this education, inspiration about the positive lifestyle on social media. So, if you listeners want to get more insight, you can just download lots of information, lifestyle diary, free ebook which has nutrition, activity, as well as heart health education element over there, pranitavitality.com. And also would love to see you, um, yeah, see you in my social media feed, um, because more people, my purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower people throughout the world to make lifestyle changes so that they can live their purpose, they can leave their legacy for which they have been put on the planet Earth. So, thank you for having me.
That's great. And before we sign off, I must tell our viewers today that, of course, Pranita is on my social media, various feeds like LinkedIn and Facebook. And I must say this, I do watch all her videos. Her videos are extremely amazing in terms of the content that she has. And by that, I mean, uh, the kind of tips and advice that she gives in terms of the entire lifestyle. And I've told her before as well, so do definitely watch her videos. I love her videos. And I what I love also the most is that I think I've told you, Pranita, is that the locations that you actually shot the videos in.
In their involvement. Yeah.
They're really nice. All right. Once
Thank you.
again, thank you so much, Pranita, for being on our show today. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's a weekend, but you have squeezed your time and made yourself available. Really means a lot to us. Thank you so much for being here, and
Thank
wish you all the best. And we will definitely look forward to having you many more for many more our talk shows. For all our listeners, thank you so much for watching us. And until next time, stay inspired. Thank you.